This is the story of the background of Drax, the gold dragonborn barbarian. Drax, a dragonborn of robust build and resolute spirit, grew up in the bustling city of Drakenwald. Born into a family of skilled carpenters, he was immersed in a world of craftsmanship from an early age. The sound of hammers against wood, the scent of freshly sawn timber, and the sight of intricate furniture taking shape fascinated him. As a child, Drax would often watch in awe as his parents and older siblings transformed raw materials into exquisite creations that adorned the homes and businesses of the city's residents. He admired the way each piece told a story, a testament to both the artisan's skill and the wood's natural beauty. Under his family's guidance, Drax learned the art of woodworking, mastering the techniques of carving, shaping, and joining wood. He developed a keen eye for detail, ensuring that every piece he worked on was not only functional, but also a work of art in its own right. Yet, amidst the sawdust and shavings, Drax nurtured a dream that set him apart from his family. While he loved carpentry, he felt a yearning for adventure and exploration beyond the city walls. He devoured tales of distant lands, epic quests, and heroic deeds, often finding himself lost in daydreams of embarking on a grand journey of his own. As he reached adulthood, Drax faced a crossroads. He could continue to follow in his family's footsteps, mastering the craft that had been passed down through generations, or he could heed the call of the unknown, the thrill of the open road, and the promise of untold adventures. With a heavy heart, Drax bid farewell to his family, expressing his gratitude for their guidance and support. Equipped with his trusty glaive and a set of finely crafted tools, he set out to explore the world beyond. Drax's journey would be one of self-discovery, where he would strive to reconcile his love of craftsmanship with his thirst for adventure, all while leaving his mark on the world in ways both seen and unseen. This is the beginning story of Goken Dudley. In the bustling city of Eldermist, where music and laughter intermingle with the fragrant aromas of exotic spices, Goken Dudley's journey began. Born into a family of traveling performers, Goken inherited a natural gift for music and a love for entertaining from his parents. His father, Darian Dudley, was a talented fiddler, and his mother, Alara Dudley, was a graceful dancer. Together, they formed the core of a renowned traveling troupe known as Dudley's Merrymakers. From a young age, the halfling Goken was exposed to the enchanting world of music and performance. He spent his days surrounded by acrobats, jugglers, and actors, learning not only the art of entertaining, but also how to interact with diverse audiences. He found his own niche as a charismatic bard, charming crowds with his melodic voice, spirited tunes, and flashy spell-enhanced tricks. His favorite memory was the time he sang to a full moon atop a hillside during a festival. His voice carried through the night and filling the hearts of all who listened. It was on that night that he truly felt the magic of music, a magic that went beyond mere entertainment and became a conduit for emotions and shared experiences. As Goken grew older, he embarked on a journey of his own, leaving behind the safety of his family's troupe to explore the wider world. He wandered through the villages, towns, and cities, sharing his gift wherever he went. Whether it was using prestidigitation to conjure mesmerizing visual effects, or casting minor illusions to enhance his performances, Goken's spells were tools to enrapture and astonish. However, Goken's journey wasn't just about performing. Along the way, he encountered various people and cultures, each with their own stories and struggles. His natural alignment allowed him to emphasize with a wide range of viewpoints as he was neutral, and he often found himself acting as a mediator or a sympathetic ear. While he avoided direct conflicts, he would occasionally use his bardic charms and wits to defuse tense situations. In his adventures, Goken sought out tales of legendary bards who had shaped history through their songs and stories. He hoped to uncover hidden knowledge and ancient melodies that could inspire and uplift those he encountered. Yet he also understood the power of silence, knowing that sometimes the absence of magic spoke louder than any tune. Now, as Gokin continues his journey, he carries with him the lessons he learned from his family and the people he's met. His heart beats to the rhythm of countless experiences, and his music reflects the tapestry of emotions that he's encountered. With his trusty fiddle, a collection of curious trinkets, and a voice that can stir the soul, Gokin Dudley walks the path of a true, natural, neutral bard, leaving behind echoes of laughter, reflection, and wonder wherever he roams. Hello, this is the background of Ravena. Ravena was born into a small furbog tribe living in the wilds on the outskirts of the kingdom where nature was worshipped and revered. And they are a type of small giant kin. She was curious and inquisitive as a child, and she spent most of her time exploring the forests around her home. She quickly developed an affinity for the natural world, and eventually her tribe decided to train her as a druid. Ravena embraced her role as a druid and quickly learned to communicate with the animals and plants around her. She also discovered a hidden talent for archery, and she crafted her own short bow to use on her hunts. Though Ravena loves the wilds and her tribe, she also has a strong sense of wanderlust, and she often travels alone to explore new lands and meet new people. She has seen many strange and wondrous things, and her knowledge of the natural world has grown immensely. Ravena's ultimate goal is to explore and protect the natural world, and she will never hesitate to defend the wilds if it is threatened. Her travels have given her a unique perspective on life, and she is wise beyond her years. This is the beginning story of Rhiannon. Rhiannon was born into a good middle-class family in the bustling city of Waterdeep. Her parents, Elwyn and Thandor, were both esteemed researchers of the arcane. Elwyn was known for her expertise in deciphering ancient spells and texts, while Thandor was a skilled alchemist who delved into the secrets of potion making. Their love for magic and the pursuit of knowledge ran deep in their blood, with a lineage boasting powerful arcane users on both sides of the family. From a young age, Rhiannon was immersed in a world of books, scrolls, and magical experiments. Her parents encouraged her insatiable curiosity and nurtured her burgeoning magical abilities. But as she grew older, it became clear that Rhiannon was different from her ancestors. Her powers had a particular twist. She possessed an innate connection to the aberrant and the unknown. This unique psionic gift both fascinated and worried her parents. While they cherished their daughter's abilities, they were concerned about the potential dangers associated with her connection to the far realm. Rhiannon's early experiences were marked by struggles to control her powers, particularly in keeping other people's thoughts out of her head. This made her somewhat reclusive and socially awkward, as she often withdrew into the solitude of her family's extensive library to find solace. As Rhiannon reached her adulthood, her desire for knowledge grew stronger, and she yearned to understand the depth of her abilities. Her parents, recognizing her potential, encouraged her to embark on an adventure to seek answers beyond the confines of Waterdeep. They gave her their blessing and a few family heirlooms to aid in her journey, a well-worn spellbook filled with her mother's notes, and a delicate pendant passed down through the generations, said to contain a fragment of a star from the astral plane. With the support of her loving but concerned family, Rhiannon set off on her quest to unlock the secrets of her aberrant mind and to expand her understanding of the arcane. Her journey led her into the unknown, where she hoped to find not only the answers she sought, but also a place where her unique abilities would be fully embraced and appreciated. Sahil, Rock Gnome Artificer. Sahil grew up among a small clan of rock gnomes in the recesses of the Underdark. Early on, it became apparent that he had a great natural skill for most forms of crafting. He honed these skills through the help of his clan over many years. In his early 40s, his son, Darvin, was born, the product of a passing dalliance with the daughter of a traveling clan of traders. This created a rift in the relations between his clan and the traders. As such, he was exiled from the clan along with his newborn. Knowing that there was no safe way to raise a child alone in the Underdark, Sahil set out for the surface world. After weeks of travel and low on supplies, they emerged into the surface in the midst of a severe blizzard. Taking shelter in a small cave that they emerged into, all hope seemed lost. Weak and tired, he bundled Dorvin up as best as he could and hoped they might both survive. He woke a few days later in a warm bed with his sleeping son in a large drawer next to the bed. Hunters from the village had found him. Having learned that Sahil was a crafter of considerable skill, he were readily welcomed into the village. Over the next 5 years, Sahil became well known amongst other nearby villages, often traveling between them to help with various different repairs or crafting new tools as needed. He was on his way home from one such trip when he spotted an unusual sight: a lone drow traveling the road. This did not overly concern him, as he had never had any negative dealings with the drow in his area of the Underdark. What did turn his blood cold was when the large stuffed blood-stained rabbit that the drow carried on her back. He recognized it instantly, having made it for his son just a few weeks earlier. Without thinking, Sahil unleashed on the drow with what few spells and cantrips he knew. The fight was short and bloody on both sides. As they both lay bleeding, Sahil heard soft crying from the drow and silent mutterings of, "I deserve this," and "perhaps now they can rest." This surprised Sahil, as drow were well known for being merciless and unremorseful. He gathered his courage and asked the drow what she was muttering about. Her story of the raid her sect had made on his village horrified him, but the disgust she expressed at what she had been forced to do was evident. A priestess had forced her to kill a young child. It had been the first time she had killed someone in cold blood. The act left her so sickened that she immediately slew the priestess, denouncing Loth, and fled, grabbing the rabbit on the way out so as to remind her never to forget. Sahil had never heard of a drow turning on one of their priestesses, much rejecting Loth altogether. Something else changed in him, and a seed of vengeance was born. Choosing to spare her life in exchange for her help in getting revenge on her former sect, Vampy, as she introduced herself, could sense the determination in him and agreed. As they rested and prepared to set off, Sahil silently hoped that he didn't fall prey to the darkness that clouded his mind at this time. This is the tale of the beginnings of the human, Steve Polychronopoulos. Hailing from distant and exotic lands, was always a curious and adventurous soul. He was born into a family with deep ties to the mystical traditions of their homeland. Steve grew up listening to tales of gods and spirits, of ancient rituals and wondrous artifacts. His people believed in the interconnectedness of all things and revered the beauty and wonder of the natural world. From a young age, Steve displayed a fascination with the unknown, always seeking to expand his horizons and explore new frontiers. His unconventional views on food and his unique eating habits quickly made him a source of both amusement and bewilderment among his peers. He saw food as a way to experience the essence of a culture, and his willingness to embrace the culinary customs of any land he encountered only added to his enigmatic reputation. As he became of age, Steve's spiritual inclinations led him to become an initiate of the light domain, embracing the powers of the sun and radiance. He was chosen to be a light domain cleric, tasked with spreading the light of knowledge, hope, and healing to all corners of the world. This alignment with the divine granted him the ability to channel radiant energy and cast potent spells that both shielded and uplifted those around him. However, his yearning for adventure and desire to learn about other deities and practices led him to embark on a journey far beyond his homeland. Armed with his mace, shield, and unwavering faith, Steve set foot in Faerun, a land steeped in magic and mystery. His poor maps from his homeland, which depicted where he was in this new realm, served as a guide in a land filled with strange customs and curious beings. Throughout his travels, Steve's interactions with the denizens of Faerun often led and left him both intrigued and perplexed. He marveled at the diverse cultures and practices, embracing the unfamiliar, even as he mentioned his devotion to his own gods and maintained it. His fascination with the beauty and wonder of his new surroundings was evident in his every step. Yet, despite his openness to new experiences, Steve harbored a certain prejudice when it came to other gods and their followers. He couldn't help but view them as misguided or ignorant compared to his own beliefs. This internal struggle between his innate curiosity and his ingrained biases served as a constant source of tension within him. Steve's journey through Faerun continued, marked by his uncanny ability to find himself in the heart of both extraordinary and mundane events. His presence was a mix of wonder and chaos, his chaotic good nature driving him to help those in need, while leaving a trail of bemused locals and baffled companions in his wake. As he wove his way through this new land, Steve Polychronopoulos became a living testament to the power of adventure, curiosity, and a heart open to all that the world had to offer. This is the backstory of Vampy Sigisa. In the depths of the city of Sizedale, another death knight loomed, another raid to the surface to claim the weak and ill-gotten. Vampy, an aspiring paladin amongst the many priestesses and other aspiring champions of Loth, sent to the surface from the Underdark on this most sacred night, a test of their devotion to Loth, the demoness god of spiders. Vampy had always been a gentle soul, much to the dismay of her father and mother, who had hoped she would have the murderous prowess of her other siblings. Her mother, Crescentha Helvim, demanded she join the raid force to show the others she had the potential of being a worthy servant of Loth. As Vampy mustered with the other hopefuls, she reluctantly left with the others to topside. The moonlight glazed the roll-broken foothills 20 miles from the hamlet of Kirksland. The head priestess led the band of nearly 35 drow and druigar dwarfs as they marched to the hamlet. After miles, the sleepy hamlet with its small homes of thatch and wattle loomed their milky white walls and wooden fencing. It was lightly patrolled by the local town watch. Sleep became howls and screaming. Vampy unsuccessfully attempted to break through the small local defenses. Farmers with pitchforks tried to form a line to hold the drow and druigar back. She threw herself over the cattle fencing and ran to a small flailer's house. Screaming and wails could be heard deafening through the night. Just as Vampy crashed through the door, a woman attempted to tackle Vampy to the ground. She attacked Vampy tooth and nail with all her might, and a ferocity that shook Vampy back. They tumbled and rolled as the woman anticipated and attempted to strangle the life from Vampy. The dagger she carried, she wrenched from her boot and drove it deep into the woman's side. A blood-curdling scream rolled from the woman's mouth. Vampy slammed the knife multiple times into her ribs. The woman's eyes rolled into the back of her head and limply fell upon top of Vampy. Vampy was lost in the shock of the woman's determined fight. She rolled the woman off her, trying to come back to her senses. A small sniffle shook Vampy out of her stupor. A boy, no more than the age of 5 or 6, wide-eyed human looking at Vampy and the woman she just fought, clutched firmly beneath white knuckles a large stuffed rabbit. Vampy didn't know what to think. She had never liked this concept, but felt she had to, as was the family she belonged to, obligatory to their demand. But before she could consider her options, the clicking of heels and a swishing of fine draperies, the priestess strolled into with a demure smirk on her painted lips. Piercings and other fineries dangled Looking at the carnage of the recent fight, she pulled a chair from the simple table and sat down, cooing at the small child, beckoning him closer. Vampy, tisk tisk, you scared the little one here. The priestess raised her hand towards the boy, putting on her friendliest motherly appearance, smiling wide. The boy bought the kindness and ran towards her, hugging the priestess tightly. Shocking, the priestess she cooed at him, calming him with gentle words. She slowly looked at Vampy. Sometimes kindness is the best form of clemency, my little spider. But one woman's life means little to our Holy Mother. She gripped the small child's wrist with a steel forged in malice, wrenching the boy widely as she stood. Now prove yourself to our mother, little spider. Finish what you started. Prove your devotion to the God you swore to. Vampy, battling her own feelings, wanted to prove to her family she was a true lost sworn paladin, but her inner self fought with the idea that this was nothing but moralless murder. She raised her halberd for a thrust. The boy closed his eyes and cried. Vampy thrust harder than she ever had before, driving the point home. A slow, wet thud was heard as the priestess clapped. Vampy, what a display, a true demonstration of lost glory. She placed her thin fingers on Vampy's shoulders as Vampy drove the butt end of her halberd into the priestess's ribs, whipping around and jabbed her halberd into the chest of the priestess. I will obey no more. Loth can go straight to Avernus for all I care. The priestess slumped gurgling and slowly crumpled to the ground. Vampy grabbed the bunny the boy had, promising to all the gods to undo the crime she committed, and fled into the night. This is the tale of Whisperwing, the Kenku wizard. In the mystical realm of Isa, where magic danced through the very air and ancient tomes whispered secrets of forgotten eras, there emerged a Kenku named Whisperwing. The feathers that adorned Whisperwing's form were a bold shade of red, reminiscent of the vivid hue of a cardinal's plumage. His striking appearance was only matched by his unyielding determination and insatiable thirst for knowledge. From the earliest days of his life, Whisperwing exhibited an exceptional affinity for the written word and the arcane arts. Nestled within the grand libraries of the Order of Scribes, he pored over dusty scrolls and illuminated manuscripts, eager to unravel the intricacies of magic. Guided by his mentors, Whisperwing's skills flourished, and he mastered the art of weaving spells through the transcribed symbols that adorned his spellbook. However, Whisperwing's spirit was too restless to remain confined within the tranquil halls of the Order. The alluring tales of distant lands and untamed magic beckoned, and a burning desire to experience the world beyond the tomes took hold. His mentors, recognizing the fire that burned within him, encouraged Whisperwing to venture forth as an adventurer, believing that real-world experiences would only deepen his understanding of the arcane. With spellbook in talon and the wind at his back, Whisperwing set out as a fledgling adventurer. His first steps beyond the Order of Scribes filled him with a mixture of excitement and apprehension as he navigated through dense forests, treacherous mountains, and quaint villages. His radiant red feathers drew attention wherever he went, yet it was his mastery of magic that truly captured the hearts and minds of those he encountered. Whisperwing's journey led him to the thriving city of Arcanith. It was a hub of magical activity and diverse cultures. Amidst the bustling streets and enchanted marketplaces, they found both wonder and challenges. Whisperwing's ability to transcribe magic proved invaluable in bridging the gap between their silent Kenku heritage and the inhabitants of this new land. Through his spellbook, he communicated eloquently, casting spells with elegant symbols and captivating incantations. One failed day, though. While browsing the shelves of a renowned arcane emporium, Whisperwing stumbled upon a weathered tome that hinted at a hidden island shrouded in mystery and ancient magic. Driven by curiosity and the promise of untold power, he embarked on a journey to uncover the secrets of this elusive place. As Whisperwing set sail across uncharted waters, his heart pounded with anticipation. The sea breeze ruffled his vibrant red feathers, and the rhythmic lullaby of the waves seemed to whisper secrets of distant lands. Within his spellbook, he opened it, and his senses attuned to the arcane. He embraced the adventure ahead, ready to transcribe his name into the annals of history as Whisperwing, the Kenku wizard of the Order of Scribes, whose bold crimson plumage and insatiable curiosity would forever leave an indelible mark on Isa and beyond. So thus this motley crew of adventurers set off on the majesty of the high seas, captained by a skipper affectionately known as Old One-Eye, for a 3-hour cruise to adventure. Unfortunately, the weather started getting rough. The sailing ship was tossed. A freak storm had come up and begun shaking the ship to pieces. The 8 passengers were tossed into the raging sea. Just before dropping beneath the frothy white waves, they saw what could only be described as a horizontal twisting of clouds and sea. Later, Whisperwing and Rhiannon agreed that it must have been what the old tomes referred to as a wormhole. The party awoke after being washed upon a beach abutted by a jungle. Only 5 were present, however. The rest and the ship's crew must have been lost at sea.